Let's first discuss what advanced care planning is and what it can look like in the future. So the reason why people might decide to develop an advanced care plan can be because they're fearful of losing decision-making capacity in the future, and they want their personal decisions to be respected and ensured that they are enforced. It is creating documentation and having conversations with people surrounding you so that they know what you want for the future, and so that it's very clearly outlined what you would want in the event that you lose decision-making capacity. These conversations are very, very important to be held when you have full decision-making capacity in order to ensure that you are not coerced into this conversation and that your true wishes are being respected in the event that you are unable to make those decisions on the fly. You come to the table fully willing to have these discussions, and your opinions, your values, and your feelings are what form this plan. I had the privilege of sitting down with one of my very close friends who has a very interesting outlook on life, and despite us having this very close bond, this conversation was still quite an uncomfortable one. I didn't initially expect it to be as uncomfortable as it was, but it was very emotionally charged, and it's not something that we necessarily recognize in society every day as a usual breakfast conversation or lunch conversation. We're not just chatting about what we would foresee our future care looking like and what we truly value out of life. And so despite this, we did have to have some giggle breaks to make it very, very easy and very flowy through the conversation, but having that guide and very structured questions really did assist us in these conversations and provided some structure while we were discussing these very intense topics. While I was completing the My Wishes Alberta package with my buddy, it became very clear that their intense value was a sense of community. They want to ensure that they are being cared for culturally and their experiences with others are being considered. They want people in their lives to be a part of this care and to be there for them so they have this collective well-being, and together they're able to kind of bond and experience life together. One very real concern that came alongside including the family and including care in the home was the financial aspect of it and the financial burden that came along with having individuals take care of you. There was concern that as these needs and escalated and intensified, as there were more and more and more things that were required, would the family and the support people be able to support themselves and the individual who was receiving care? And so having backup plans was very important for them. I was pretty shocked that finances were a concern, because I know that there are some publicly funded resources in Canada that allow for home care to be a very real and very possible thing during end of life or during palliative care, that allow people to stay at home to receive that kind of care. And so it was highly important to have this conversation and to highlight these resources. And this really drove home the importance of having someone who is from social work or who is from a public health nursing background who can sit down and really show that there are resources out there that allow you to have this form of care and allow you to receive the type of care that you want in the home. As pointed out by Public Health Ontario, if you come from a lower socioeconomic background or if you are an immigrant to Canada, some of these resources aren't as evident to you, and you can have lower levels of health literacy just because you're not aware of the stuff that is available for you. And it was really important to show them that these resources are publicly available and publicly funded, and it is an option for care in the future, just so that they are aware and they know what they want and can make an informed decision about their future. As recognized by the College of Registered Nurses of Alberta, advanced care planning is within our scope. Nurses are expected to assist in the implementation and evaluation of all advanced care planning to ensure that clients' values and their beliefs are being respected. It is so important to have holistic care and to ensure that the client is making informed decisions based off of what they want so that they can have an improved quality of life and they feel respected during their entire care process. It is a fundamental thing to ensure that we are improving our patients' health literacy and making sure that their decisions, their values, and what they want out of life is being respected the entirety of this care process. And so assisting during my conversation, it was very important that they were aware that these resources are available to them. And if they wanted further conversations with a nurse or someone who had a public health background, that is a very reasonable thing, and they can absolutely request those resources, and I can point them towards those resources so that they can make an informed decision. I would like to read to you a direct quote from The 2 a.m. Moment and the Art of Our Science, written by William Rosa and Betty Farrell, as I think it beautifully connects the nursing profession to what advanced care planning should look like with our palliative and end-of-life patients, and why it's important, why it truly matters. It says, as the palliative nursing field grows, it becomes increasingly important to maintain consistent connection with the reason for being of service. It is promoting, preserving, protecting the integrity of the relationships we have with people suffering from life-limiting illnesses and injuries, their family members and loved ones, and their broader communities of support. It beautifully highlights how advanced care planning should directly impact the individual and take into consideration how it would benefit everyone involved. It gives people a say with their care, and it also ensures that they are being respected when their decisions and all of their choices are being considered. They have fully provided us with informed consent, and they know what they want out of life, and we're able to provide that as healthcare professionals because of it. In creating an advanced care plan, you give yourself the opportunity and the voice to have your beliefs respected and to have your values incorporated into your future care in the event that you lose capacity. Truly, this form of documentation alerts the healthcare team to what you value and what you need out of life in order to have that quality of life met and to keep you happy during end-of-life care. It shows us what you need, and it shows everyone who's involved exactly what you wish to have out of life. I strongly recommend that everyone who is available does create an advanced care plan so that their future can be respected in the way that you envision it to be. To sum all of my learnings from what I have personally taken away from this experience is that I do feel uncomfortable during these conversations, but I also fully recognize the importance of them, and creating space to have these conversations is so important. That's why in the future I intend to create rapport with my patients and have that therapeutic communication so that we have this bond where it feels a little more natural to just initiate what they want out of life and see their values and their beliefs and ensure that it still aligns with what they've indicated in the past. If there are changes, of course, I would love to facilitate these conversations where maybe we change personal directives or we change people's documents so that it reflects exactly what they need out of life when they have the capacity to decide. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.